Hi guys. So when we're talking about climate change and we're talking about drought tolerant plants, and I know that's a favourite expression that's being used a lot recently, and of course alpine and rockery plants are very, very hardy, but there are also a lot of them, not all, but the majority of them are incredibly drought tolerant. Why is that? What is it that makes them drought tolerant? Because I think a lot of people don't really quite understand that, in terms of most of the time when we are in our gardens, we need to make sure that we water regularly and in some occasions feed if necessary for fruiting and flowering plants. One of the reasons why alpine and rockery plants are drought tolerant is because of where they grow. They grow in very, very inclement and very, very dry, arid or sloping conditions, which means that the rainfall that they get is very, very marginal. And if they have, mountains can have lots of rainfall, but of course they're on a slope. So how do they actually retain that rainfall? So what I thought I'd do was I would show you, for example, the root system. I've talked about it a little bit before. So your root systems of alpines and rockery plants, most of them have very fibrousy roots. As you can see from this particular plant here, the sedum, real fine hair-like roots. And if also I can show you as well with this Veronica, that's basically, it's grown through the pot, how fibrousy the roots are, and also this like long root here that can actually, it's curled round the pot actually, but it can grow up to 1.5 to 2 feet sometimes, can rockery and alpine roots, almost like a tap root if you like. So they have the little fibrousy roots which can gather bits of water that are in the base of the water table, and then if that's very, very dry, the first initial surface of the substrate that it's growing in, or it's on a slope, it'll have a root that'll search for water and search for nutrition. And sometimes as well, it's about the leaf formation. So sometimes it can be, if the leaves are very needle-like, like with this particular Teucerum and a lot of sedums and other like dianthus and things like that, it means that they're retaining the water because they're holding the energy in and the nutrition by the narrowness of their leaves. And also another example is as well, some alpines are really tactile, aren't they? The way you can stroke them, basically it's because they have very pine-like needles, and they also can have like fine hairs on some of the